tip it. Bryant with the save.
Oh, you're going to get a shot here.
Final seconds. Bryant for the win. Bang!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are live. Welcome to the Off the Backboard NBA show brought to you by the Sports Affiliation. If you haven't already figured it out, it's one of the hottest basketball shows out there. So make sure you tell all your friends this is where the place to be is on Tuesdays. With me, I have my wonderful co-host, Mr. Deontay Adams01. Deontay, what's up with you, man? Say what's up to the people.
Hey. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, TSA community? I am the one and only Deontay. As you can see, I am a huge Celtics fan. So, and we've been on a tear lately. So I can't wait to talk about my Celtics along with the other various stuff that's been going on in the NBA. So, hey, I'm ready to get into it, man. This is exciting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And as always, like I said, this is our show that we're gonna have every Tuesday. Pending any other things happening. But like I said, this is the place to be for all things NBA. It's been an interesting week, in the NBA, and there's some stuff that's going on right now that we got to talk about. So we won't waste any time. We'll go ahead and dive right into it. Pretty much one of the things that's going to be a note of topic is Ja Morant. He is now officially back and starting for the Memphis Grizzlies. He is here. He's actually playing right now. They're playing the Pelicans, and I think he started today. I know there was a picture of him on Twitter walking in with Derrick Rose. So, we got a lot of guys. We got him as a mentor there for them. So it should be good for Ja. And he's officially back. He had his 25-game suspension after the incident that happened last year with the gun and everything else and stuff like that. So he is now officially back and hoping to make an impact with his Memphis Grizzlies team. Now, unfortunately, he won't be eligible for any end of season awards. I know the NBA instituted a new rule this year that you have to play at minimum, I think it's 65 games in order to get eligible for any in season awards. And Ja's missed already a quarter of the season, so he will not be eligible for any awards at the end of the season. But he is hoping to make an impact with this Memphis Grizzlies team and hopefully put them in a better position than where they are right now. Deontay, just going into it real quick with Ja Morant, do you think he has learned his lesson and he's going to be in a better spot right now? And then how do you think he is going to be able to impact this Memphis Grizzlies team going forward? Because right now they're not one of the best teams in the world in the NBA. So I know everybody's looking for him to have a huge impact. So what are your thoughts on him? Has he put all that trouble behind him, and is he ready to make a big impact for the Memphis Grizzlies this season?
That's a very good question. So let's talk about Ja with Morant for a second, right? As it currently stands, right, his team is 6-19, right? So let's see how Ja does within the first few games of the season. Let's let him take time to acclimate to the new season, right? Because he's coming off of a 25-game suspension, I believe, right? And he hasn't really played ball in quite a while, like over the past several months, right? Because it's now about to be January in a few weeks. So, can they turn it around with Ja? That remains to be seen, right? That remains to be seen. And as far as Ja learning his lesson, I'm not sure if I can really chapter on him just yet. Like I said, he was, the incident in which he was doing, like it was stupid, and unfortunately he had to pay the price. So this time around we'll see what he does. Like I said, I'm not rooting for his downfall, right? I want him to get better, not only as an NBA player but as an individual, right? Because at the end of the day they're just like us, only they're pretty much on a big screen, right? They're pretty much on the big screen, and what they do in their life now is a reflection of not only him, but the people that are within his circle, right? So, like I said, I don't think the book has completely closed on Ja, but like I said, we're going to see what happens. I'm not rooting for this kid to fail. Like I said, right? I want him to succeed. I want him to do great in the NBA, but he's got to be willing to put in the work, and he has to be willing to be disciplined enough and to understand that all of his actions that are in the NBA or outside of the NBA, they have repercussions, both good and bad. So we're gonna see what Ja does, and that's kind of my take on it.
I got you. Real quick, can you still hear me right now? I'm just trying to figure it out because
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you still.
all right. So I think my screen is kind of like stuck. It has me just kind of staring forward, and I'm not necessarily sure what's going on with that, but I just want to make sure I can still be heard. So we'll figure that out.
The power of technology, you gotta love it.
You gotta love it. As long as I can still be heard, that's fine. Yeah, I agree with a lot of the sentiments that you have. I mean, looking at this Memphis Grizzlies team, they're currently sitting well under 500 at 6-19. It's going to be Josh's first game back, so hopefully he can kind of get himself right. And obviously, it's going to take a little bit of time for him to get his feet back underneath him. I don't think he was allowed to be around the team during that suspension, so I don't know if he's been able to work on his game in the off season, as far as like maybe doing some private training or things like that. But hopefully, I would imagine that he's been able to at least put himself in a better position to at least stay basketball ready for when this moment came to pass. Because obviously, with him being the superstar level player that he is, you want to make sure that he has the capabilities to do what he can to make sure that he puts his team in a good position. So I would hope that he has learned his lesson. I would hope that all this has been put behind him and he can just make it a point to, just get out there and get ready to play basketball, because obviously this team is built around him. He is the face of this franchise. And it's kind of like you said, hopefully the whole Ja Wick uh, nickname has kind of been put behind him. I know that whole situation that's been kind of a long time coming, and you just want to make sure that he's able to put himself in a good position to make sure he's good to go for this Memphis Grizzlies team, but also for the league, because he's one of these young guys that came in out of Murray. I forget what college it was. Oh, shoot. Uh, okay, we're good. I don't know what happened there. Uh, he's been one of those guys that's been, and he came out of college, small school, and he's been putting in work since he got there. So I hope that he's able to kind of continue to do that, though. And then going into this next topic, they play the Memphis Grizzlies tonight. I don't know if you guys have put up any betting numbers and stuff like that. How well do you think he's going to do tonight then? It's his first game back. Do you expect him to put up like a crazy 20-point stat line or something like that? Or you expect him to kind of just take a little bit to get his feet underneath him?
Let me take a look. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Computer was a little wonky.
No, you're good. I don't know what's going on with mine, but just what do you think? Is Ja gonna have a relatively good game tonight, or is it gonna be something like he's gonna take a lot of shots and miss a lot, but he's gonna struggle? Like, what do you think is gonna be
I
the case?
mean, that's a very good question too. I mean, I feel like Ja is just gonna get into the. I think he's gonna find himself a rhythm here, but like I said, anything can happen. So, like I said, I'm pulling for the kid to have his first good game in a while. So, well, hold on, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can check the stats on him.
I got it right now. I pulled up his stats. He's currently sitting at 2 for 3. Gonna get about 5. He's got 2 for 3. He's got 5 points right now. Well, 2
All
for
right,
4.
so not too bad. Not too bad, right?
It's early in the second quarter, but I think he can
Mhm.
still. He's got a lot of game left. He's got a lot of game
I
left. So
mean, 5 points in 9 minutes. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. But like I said, I'm not expecting him to go supersonic in this game, but I do expect him to at least put up a commendable effort against this Pelicans team. So we'll see what happens.
JR said he's gonna get 20 tonight. So I mean,
I think he might.
he can put up 20. Maybe 20 with 7 assists, 5 boards, with some good shooting splits. I mean, he hadn't hit a 3 yet, so we'll see how that plays out though. But you never know. But enough about y'all. Like I said, I'm obviously happy to see him back in the league. Hopefully, he's able to get back and play to his potential. I know a lot of us were talking last year, even with his the way he plays his game is Derrick Rose-esque in terms of the explosiveness and the dunks and how he loves to go to the rim. And a lot of us were talking about how he needs to develop, that mid-range game, that outside jump shot with 3-pointers and stuff like that, which he's been doing pretty well over the last couple of years. But you want to make sure he's able to elevate himself in that sense to make sure he can at least better himself and make sure he's able to stay in the league a lot longer. Because you look at a guy like Derrick Rose, I hate to, bring up the injury and stuff, but with how high flying he was, once that kind of went away, it kind of was like this obviously isn't the same Derrick Rose, but luckily enough, he is still in the league right now as we speak, and now he's playing for the Memphis Grizzlies, so he's hopefully going to be a good mentor um, to Ja and put him in a good position to make sure that he can succeed where he needs to. So let's go with another player that's in some hot water with the league, and this is one Mr. Draymond Green, who basically mollywops. I forget who they were playing that game, man. Was it Youth of Nurkic? I think it was. They were playing the Suns, I think, and he just was trying to box out. I don't know what he was trying to do exactly, and he just clotheslines him, and he has now been suspended indefinitely from the league, and he is also in the midst of going through counseling. I know a lot of people were on the opinion of what's going to happen with Draymond, how many games are you going to be suspended, things like that. I was sitting here thinking it's going to be something like a 20-game suspension, even after that whole nonsense that he got suspended for earlier in the season. I think this is like his second suspension, so it's like he has a track record. Everybody looks at Draymond, everybody knows he has a track record of what he does in the league, of the way his play is, his attitude, and things like that. But after a certain point, I'm looking at the league and everybody else is thinking the same thing. Yeah, so Coach Craig said Houston Records. Okay, cool. You have to be able to kind of know time and place and to be able to do stuff, not to be able to do stuff like that. So I guess let's get into the Draymond situation real quick. What do you think? Is he going to learn from this? Obviously, he's suspended indefinitely. We don't know when in time he's going to be back. But what do you think is his role going forward with the Warriors? And like what is going on up here in his head? Like what is going on up here in the mental that he's continuing to do stuff like this?
Honestly, I really can't speak for Draymond because I'm not really like his agent, or just like somebody that he's close to, right? I don't know what's going on with Draymond, right? I think he should have been suspended indefinitely, like long before this, like when he literally choked the lights out of Rudy Gobert. I think that's when it should have started, right? But the fact that this man decides to keep going and keep getting technical fouls, this, that, and the third, and keep getting himself ejected. I mean, I think the NBA made a right call with the Draymond Green suspension, in my opinion. Like, I just don't know. I don't know. Like, yes, I understand player safety is a must, and yes, I understand wanting to go back to the physicality of what the NBA used to be, right? But if you're out
Mhm.
here like slapping dudes in the face and chokeholding dudes in the face when they've done absolutely nothing, then you're being a detriment to player safety. And so you gotta suffer the consequences, unfortunately. And now Draymond Green, like you said, he's been suspended indefinitely, so we don't know if he'll be back or not, right? I
Right.
think Draymond has I think Draymond has reached a point in his career where he's just like, I don't know, where he's just advocating, like he's just reverting to bully ball as a means to compensate what he used to be back in the day. Because prime Draymond Green, especially in the mid 2010s, he was something to be reckoned with. Right
Yeah.
now, in the later stages of his career, like the Golden State Warriors are just basically falling apart at the seams. Right, Steph Curry, as you saw last night, he uh, broke the streak. Well, yeah, he didn't even shoot a single three, which kind of shattered the record for most games that he had for a three, or consecutive games that he had for a three.
Yeah,
Not
I think it was
anymore.
like 280 something,
280
200
something.
games.
Yep, yeah, I think it was 286, 287.
Yeah, let me check
So
that real
yeah,
quick.
so Steph Curry is not who he used to be anymore. Klay Thompson um, is basically not the same Clay as we once knew anymore. That Game 6 Clay that everybody was talking about last year, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Yes, I still have the receipts, but it's just this team is just not really. It doesn't really have that same pizzazz or that energy that it used to have, right? And now Draymond is just one of those last pieces that he is not himself anymore. So he's just trying. I don't know. Like, it's just the whole debacle on just dealing with Draymond Green. I don't know if he's going through something. I don't know if he's just the way he is, and we can't change him. I don't know, but like I said, I think this could be Draymond's last year with the team. I mean, I don't think he carries that same impact as he once did anymore. That's just how I see it.
And you wouldn't be the first person to have that opinion, is the thing, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are sitting here thinking, is Draymond the same guy as he was a few years ago? Obviously not. And he's not necessarily having that same impact that he did. And obviously, this is a way that is negatively affecting the Warriors because now it's like he's one of those guys that used to be, that a part of that core, and he's not doing it anymore. Like, I mean, you can go out there and get you like a triple single, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, and like 4 or 5 points or 6 points, whatever. Like, he can do that and still make a defensive impact as well. But at the same time, it's like, bro, you got to know a time and place. Like, you can't just be going around and smacking people, trying to box out, like flailing your arms all wildly. Like that's just not gonna cut it in the league anymore. And obviously, this is a track record that you have, and people are going to consistently look at you and look for reasons to put you like out of the game. Not necessarily the players, but maybe the players, but refs. The referee's looking at you and looking at your every action, your every move, and sitting here thinking, all right, what is he going to do? What is he going to do? What is he going to do? Oh, he did this crap. He's gone. Looking through some of the comments and stuff, Coach Craig was talking about the Rudy one with Rudy Gobert. He was at least protecting Clay. I mean, in a sense, yeah, but at the same time, you literally sit here and put this man in a damn chokehold like this is the WWE or UFC. Like, like you literally think you just like are just doing so much to try to help this team, but it's just not what you think it is. And for you to sit here and just do this and put yourself in a bad situation and your team in a worse situation because they are now without you as one of their core players, and they're really having to like, I don't want to say like dig for scraps on the bench to help them make an impact, but it's like you look at some of the other guys on this roster, like a lot of them really aren't making as impactful as making as much of an impact as they did in the past. Like I look at a guy like Andrew Wiggins, he's falling off. CP3 is old. Obviously, we talked about Klay Thompson. Steph is literally carrying this team, and like I said, we were talking about the streak earlier.
He's not even the same Steph.
He's hit at least 1-3 in 268 consecutive games before the last game. And that streak is not broken.
No, it's not.
And it's wild to sit here and think about.
Mm-hmm.
And you sit here and look at how much it's impacting this team. Of like, Steph is the real only threat on this team. And I'm just like, it's gonna be relatively easy to kind of play them going forward because Draymond's not there. I mean, obviously you have guys like Kevon Looney and other guys like that, but it's like it's not the same. It's like obviously Coach Craig said, the Warriors are old. They don't necessarily have that injection of youth that they need. They are an older roster, and that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. But at the same time, when you don't have any depth behind those older guys, it is tough. Like it is going to be extremely tough, and we'll be able to see them play later tonight. Obviously, they play the Celtics, so I'm assuming you're going to be watching that game fairly closely.
Yep. I already have that game circled.
And you were talking about the contract earlier. Coach Craig brought up a good point. He said, problem is they gave Draymond that new deal. And yeah, that extension is good for like, I think 3 more years, if I'm not mistaken. So you kind of have to sit on this contract as well and think, if Draymond's going to continue this crap, like, where do we go from here? Like, do we continue to try to give him this money, or do we try to find a way out? I don't know if a team's going to be willing to try to trade for him because of his history, because of all the stuff that's happening and other stuff like that. It is going to be extremely tough to move this man off and try to get him somewhere else. And I don't think they're going to do that. But at the same time, I feel like whenever he does come back, like I said, we don't know necessarily when it's going to happen. I know JR was sitting here talking about, he said, give him a 35-game minimum. That should be enough to negatively affect the Warriors. 35 games does seem like a lot, but at the same time, I feel like it puts a dent in their season. I mean, you look at them right now; they're sitting at 12-14. So that's obviously something that you have to look forward to the rest of the season. If you're already sitting 2 games under 500, and you're already sitting in that play-in area, when you look at the West is always a damn gauntlet. Everybody who watches basketball knows this. It's like the Western Conference has always been that conference that is like, it is a bloodbath. Like every team back in the day, like 50 or some odd wins, and it's tough. If you're the 1 seed or the eight,
Yeah,
1
it
through
is.
8, it is not an easy matchup. Obviously there's the NBA looks a lot different now with the play-in tournament and other stuff like that. But it is just so much tougher to try to sit here and try to climb out of this hole when you look at all these teams that are ahead of the Warriors right now and teams that are currently on the rise. Um, I look at the standings right now from top to bottom, like looking at just the top 10 teams alone. You got, like I said, this is 1 to 10. All right. You got Minnesota, OKC, Denver, Sacramento, Dallas, and the Clippers. That's the top 6 right there. Then after that, you got the Pelicans, Lakers, Rockets, and the Suns that are sitting in that play-in range. The Warriors are currently 2 games back at the 10th spot, but at the same time, it's like, do you want to sit here and predicate yourself in the season on trying to be a play-in team? Like knowing that Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, a lot of these guys, they don't have much longer left in the league, I would imagine, because they're getting older, they're getting up there in age, but you want to make sure that you're able to capitalize on every single thing that they have. So it is going to be extremely tough for them to kind of make it out of this hole. But and I want to toss this question to you: do you think at some point that they find a way to make it out of this hole and try to make a playoff push, or is the Warriors dynasty like officially done? Do you think the Warriors dynasty is done, and why, if it is?
No, everybody thinks that this Warriors team can win, or well, excuse me, Steph Curry can win another ring. Honestly, with this team and the way that they're going in the direction that they're headed right now, I just don't see it. I'm sorry. Like, even as we talked about before, the team is getting up there in age, right? Which it's not just Curry, but it's just everybody that's surrounding Curry, right? Like, it's just, I don't know, right? As I'm looking at this Warriors team for our matchup tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is supposed to, oh, well, you got to respect the Warriors because they beat you guys in the final. Like, I don't care about that. That was 2 years ago. I'm talking about right now. See, the recency bias is just absolutely off the charts right now, right? As I'm looking at this Warriors team for the matchup tonight, because we play them at 10 o'clock. I don't know why it's a late game, but it is what it is. We're
I
favored
think it's
by
in California. That's probably why, because
um,
the West Coast time.
we're favored
So
by 4.5 points, right? Only 4.5 points, right? And I'm looking at this Warriors team, they're 12-14. And as it currently stands, right, they're not really a team. I mean, they're just sitting outside of Phoenix, but Phoenix right now, I mean, they're they're 2 games back behind Phoenix for that 10 spot. And yeah, I understand that they won 2 in a row, but the Warriors, they're literally 5-5 of their last 10. I mean, I'm looking at their points per game and then their points and then the average opponent points per game, right? They're basically, I would say, a middle of the pack offense, and then I'm looking at them, and they in the Western Conference, they have one of the worst opponent points per game in their conference. So it's not like, and they have a point differential of just point two. That's it, just point two, right? So it's it's really not the same Warriors team as before. It really isn't. So I'm
it's
not
not.
sure everybody is getting. Oh, well, Steph Curry can pull out his. He has this magic. I just don't see it anymore. I'm sorry. I mean, I know that we're gonna face them later on. And hey, look, if we get beat, we get beat. Okay. I'm not making excuses for my Celtics, but if we do win, then for the Warriors, it's like, okay, like, if you can't beat a top team outside of the conference and even in your own conference, then how can you be projected to make a deep playoff push, especially with the suspensions and the injuries and the overall just inconsistency of that Warriors team as a whole? But that's just my opinion.
No, I get that. JR chiming in with a comment and stuff. It's like can't be declining off on offense and defense if you're the Dubs. And then he was
Exactly.
talking about it earlier with I actually know Coach Craig was talking about that. He said Clay's been playing better the last 3 games at least, but he ain't a defender anymore. And obviously Clay's lost that step on defense. We all see this every day we're out there. He's obviously not the same defender he was back in the day. I mean, he can still shoot the rock like nobody's business. A lot of people look at him as arguably the second best shooter in the entirety of the NBA behind his running mate Steph. But at the same time, it's like you have to be able to play on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. You can't just sit here and be like, a liability, and obviously that's what Clay is starting to become a little bit on defense. And obviously, you still have to respect him and his range from three. So we have to put that in mind as well. But at the same time, it's also like, I mean, if you can go at him on a pick and roll situation, he's not necessarily going to cover you the way he used to. I mean, you can sit here and do what you need to do and just like blow by him, or just do a step back, cross him up, do what you got to do. But he has to be able to get in a better position himself because obviously Steph is backpacking. He's backpacking, he's carrying, and everybody knows it. We need him to make sure that he's going to be, at least close to what he used to be. But obviously, it's tough with that injury that he had, coming back from that ACL tear. And I think correct me if I'm wrong, I think he was out like a couple of years. I think it was like 2 seasons back to back that he was out, and he was trying to make it a point to still come back. It is tough to be trying to come back from an injury like that because you never know what's going to happen, and you don't want that same injury to happen again, especially in his position where he's a shooter, and you need that explosive to be able to kind of like shoot the block. But at the same time, it's like, if people are going to take advantage of you on the defensive side of the ball, it's going to be tough for you. And Coach Craig is in the comments talking about they need Wiggins to get right. I mean, they do. I don't know where the hell Wiggins is going to. So he's obviously not looking like all-star Wiggins, if you want to call it that. And he's obviously looking at like a shell of himself from what he used to be. Can Wiggins get right to make sure that this team is back on track? Obviously they got CP3 there. That
Jesus Christ! I forgot about Wiggins. What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah. He's supposed to be like a game time decision tonight, but he's kind of falling off as well. So you kind of have to look at him as well. Is he going to be in a good spot to lead them or help lead them with stuff as well until Draymond gets back? And if Draymond gets back, whenever he does get back, how is this team going to look? That's the better question. Like, are they going to be so far behind in the standings that it's going to be like you just punt on the season and try to see what you can get back in terms of like Clay, and maybe if you want to do something with Draymond's contract and get him out of there, like a lot of different things to be talking about with this team, obviously. And somebody had brought this up on Twitter, and I'm still calling this Twitter. How Steph is obviously the face of this franchise, but he is not in the same realm of guys like I would say LeBron and KD in terms of like putting, I don't want to say the fear of God in ownership, but to put ownership in a position is like, hey, I need you to put guys around me to make sure I am doing my best to succeed. And obviously looking at this Warriors team right now, they're sitting at 12 and 14. It doesn't look like the front office has done much to put him in a position to win. And obviously you look at how the rest of this team is, it is extremely difficult for them to even be anywhere close to trying to get somebody back in a trade or anything to put around Steph and these guys to make a run. So just kind of just going off with, again, we're still on the Draymond thing. Do you think even when he comes back that he makes enough of an impact to help get them out of this hole to be worth, trying to make a shot in the playoffs? Or do you think they should, if they're well below 500, that they should punt on the season? Now, all this is pending how many games Draymond is suspended, but we also don't know how long he's going to be suspended, though.
Yeah, we don't know how long he's going to be suspended for. So I have no idea. I mean, you have to look at the impact that Draymond was having, before the suspension and all that. Like, was he even that like productive when he was?
I feel like it depends on who you ask, because it's like Draymond is like, what good is his productivity to the team? Like, I mean, a Draymond type of game is somewhere where he's like a defensive impact. He's making a defensive impact on the game and like trying to help with stuff in terms of like, shot creation. He's obviously not creating his own shot, but just kind of getting guys in a good position to make their shots and other things like that. But I don't know. It is what it is though. I'm trying to pull up his stats right now just to kind of see exactly what he's looking like right now. I mean, this season he is currently looking at 10 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists on 49% shooting from the field. That's a typical Draymond type of stat line. You just know why he is there, and he's gonna do stuff like this. But also, that's just kind of how he is. That's his impact. Yeah, I don't know what the Warriors are gonna look like going forward. I would be hard pressed to think that they would look anything like a championship contender while Draymond is out. But this is the NBA. Crazy things have happened. Steph may go on a nuclear type of run, and just try to do his best to will this team. But then again, that he can only do with so much, and he has CP3 behind him. But again, these are two aging point guards that are veterans of the game, and they only got so many years left. But even looking at the rest of their schedule for this month and going forward for the foreseeable future, I mean, looking at it tonight, they got the Celtics. Then they got the Wizards coming up on Friday. You would think that's a winnable game, but I mean, because the Wizards are one of the worst teams in the league. Then they got the Trailblazers, and then you finish off the season, or to finish off this month with the Nuggets, the Heat, and the Mavericks. With the Nuggets game being on Christmas Day, which we'll get to those games here in a little bit. And then you go into January, and you just look at what that schedule is there. They got the Magic, who are a young team who's on the rise. They got the Nuggets again, the Pistons, the Raptors, the Pelicans, the Bulls. I would imagine there's some winnable games, but at the same time, you just never really know what's going to happen between now and then. But those games that they should win, they need to win. They at least try to keep themselves afloat. But you look at some of these other teams, it's difficult for me to sit here and say that they're going to be able to at least get some wins on those games. But, and that's the NBA for you. You never really know what will happen, though.
Agreed.
So I want to bring something up that you had brought up, that you talked about yesterday on Twitter, and JR just kind of brought this up in the comments. So I want to bring this up real quick, and I'm curious as to how this is going to play out. So, obviously, the Lakers, they won the in-season tournament, the inaugural in-season tournament, and they brought up the championship banner, which I want to point something out here. At one point in time, I don't think they were actually going to raise the banner, but Adam Silver was of the impression that since this was like the first time that this in-season tournament has been a thing, and they wanted to make sure that this was something that was memorable. I think the Lakers did put up that banner in response to that, though. But you have the impression that you weren't necessarily feeling it because it's like, y'all really raising the championship banner over this. I don't think Kobe would have been all right about this. I'm sitting here like, wait a minute, hold on. I wanted to save this for today because I know how you feel. I understand you're a Celtics fan. I'm a Lakers fan. We're able to coexist in a nice, friendly world. But I want to get your opinions on what that whole situation was with the in-season tournament banner. So what was your thoughts on it? Like, why do you think it was not worthy of something that should have been put up as a banner?
Look, there are just so many things that I can talk about, right? The fact that Adam Silver decides, hey, you know what? Hey, Lakers, how about you go hang up something that's absolutely like what? I just don't understand. I don't understand the premise of it. Like, did the Lakers win? Yeah, they won. Like, I'm not upset that they won. Like, who cares? Like, I don't care. Like, for the players that are getting less than 500,000, and that's a significant boost to them. Hey, man,
right.
I'm happy for them, right? That's gonna give them a chance for their families. For them and their families to to do wonderful things with it. I'm not against that. What I am against is when teams decide, and Adam Silver decide, hey, you know what? Let's hang up a meaningless banner, right? A meaningless banner, especially one that's just been instituted within the season, right? Oh, here, there's 2023 in-season tournament champions. That's when everybody gets all ticked off, right? If my Celtics have won, I would not be acting like this.
I was gonna get to that, but I'm gonna let you finish on that one. All right.
No, I would not. No, I would not, because I'm not here to celebrate the in tournament. I'm just here to see my team make it to the finals and ultimately win, because the finals is something that has been long overdue for the Celtics since 2008. We haven't gotten a finals win since 2008. And here come the Lakers, right? Here come the Lakers, being, fresh off of a finals win in over 3 years. And now all of a sudden you decide to hang a banner that what does that mean? An in-season tournament champ? What does that even mean? I don't get it, man. And this is the type of stuff that infuriates me. It's like they're celebrating, the NBA is celebrating mediocrity instead of looking at the bigger picture.
Whoa. Hold on. Mediocrity. Wait a minute. Hold on.
I'm just saying that the in-season tournament is celebrating mediocrity. Okay, great. You won the in-season tournament. Now let's see you win the finals. I don't care about the in-season tournament. I care about you getting to the finals and winning.
Okay. All right. And there's you got the people in the comments talking about it. Craig is talking about how they should have had the banner hang in the first game after the All-Star break. Honestly, I don't know if anybody would have still cared, but it still would have been dope. Jared brought up a good point. He's like, we didn't decide that. I get it. I understand.
We didn't decide that y'all didn't decide it. I'm Adam Silver decided, so I should be more mad at him.
But it's like the whole thing is like mediocrity. I'm like, look, every team was in the same position to win this championship. And I'm calling it championship because it's in-season tournament champions. That's what it is. But at the same time, it's also like every team had as good a shot as anybody to win it. And I'm gonna put this out there on Front Street because I'm not directing this towards you, but I'm directing this at just people that are, I don't want to say consistent Lakers haters, but people that despise them. I understand you at least you're not necessarily going to go on like a whole tirade, but I understand you're despised with them because you are a Celtics fan. But I feel as though this is kind of reminiscent of that 2020 NBA championship in the bubble because I feel like, again, and this is off my premise. This is my words. I'm not speaking for anybody else, but I'm just saying this from my point of view. You look at it in terms of that standpoint, like where if anybody else had won it, I don't think there would be as much of a talk about it. But it's also like because it's the Lakers, and it's like you look at that 2020 championship, everybody's like, "Oh, that's a Mickey Mouse frame because it was won in Orlando." Oh, it's the first in-season tournament championship, and the Lakers won it. What the hell is this? But I look at it this way: if you reverse it and look at the situation now, if the Miami Heat had won that 2020 championship and the Pacers had won the in-season tournament championship, would people still be having as much of an uproar about it if those teams won it as opposed to the Lakers winning these titles? I obviously don't think so because you look at teams like the Lakers, and I will put the Celtics in there because they are the consistency of they are the championship standard. Obviously, they are tied for the most championships in NBA history at 17. And people look at these two teams as like, hey, we are going to be the standard that is set for everybody. If you look at it in any of these two teams, if they win anything that's like not necessarily deemed as worthy, I feel like people are going to go with them. I understand if people looked at the Celtics and they won a championship back in what was it, 2022, or even the bubble championship, or even this in-season tournament championship, I feel like people will still be ready to go rip on. Oh my God, this is a Celtics. Like I feel like it's that same concept. But because it's the Lakers and everybody loves to hate on the Lakers and everybody's praying on the Lakers' downfall because that's just how it is. That's how it's been for eons. Like ever since before we were born, like people love to hate the Lakers. People love to hate the Celtics because it's that championship standard. You look at these teams at the top, it's like, yeah, you finna hate on them. If they do anything to the Celtics, like, man, this ain't worth nothing. So that's my standpoint on that. But at the same time, it's also like, we have to give at least some credit where credit is due. Adam Silver was talking about this for years, hyping up the in-season tournament. I know a lot of people were on the fence about it, myself included. It turned out to be pretty damn good because I felt like it was an opportunity for a lot of these other guys that don't necessarily get their shine, a chance to, get their spotlight. Like you look at a guy like Tyrese Halliburton, boy's been playing his ass off. I'm hoping he has, a lot more of those games left in him, and I hope he has a wonderful career ahead of him. Obviously, everybody knows about Austin Reeves, what he did at the playoffs last year, but he's getting a lot more shine. A lot of these other guys on these teams are getting more publicity than you would think they normally would because of situations like this. So I feel like from a media standpoint, TV standpoint, whatever you want to call it, basketball, Adam Silver did a damn good job. And I'm going to go off what JR said a couple days ago. The fact that this in-season tournament has people talking, whether it be good or bad, Adam Silver can just sit back and just be like, hey, I did my job. It's got people talking. It's got them ready for next year. There's different opinions of what will happen. And obviously people are going to look at it and think about making tweaks for next year and going forward. But that's just my soapbox moment, my soliloquy that I want to bring that up. And that's just how I see things from an NBA fan standpoint. Like I said, obviously I'm a Lakers fan. You're a Celtics fan.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just different things like that happen. But that's how I see it in terms of like those teams that have those type of standards. So. And then obviously Craig comes in with the comments like, honestly, Lakers, Celtics, and Warriors, people react that way any other time. No one would care.
Like, say for example, if the Portland Trailblazers had won it, do you think people are gonna care? Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. I don't
No,
care.
because
I don't.
the
I don't
the
care.
Trailblazers are looking like a bottom feeder team with Scoot, and obviously they traded away Dame, so their most important and impactful player is not there anymore. So
And I'll and I'll say this: like, let's say if the Celtics have won this quote unquote in season tournament, right? We get crowned in season tournament champions. I'm not about to, go on a rampage talking about, oh my god, we're the best team in the league. That everybody. No, I don't celebrate. I don't celebrate that type of stuff. I understand that the NBA wants to embrace change, but come on now, I'm not gonna celebrate. I'm not gonna hold that to a high degree of standard, right? I'm the only thing that I'm holding up to a certain degree of standard is the rings. That's it. Like I care about my team going to the finals and winning a ring because we haven't, like I said, we haven't won a ring since 2008, since Paul Pierce, since Ray Allen, since Kevin Garnett. It is what it is. So that's just that's just kind of my thing. That's kind of my opinion.
I feel you. I feel you. And obviously, it's you want to make sure that you put your team is in the best position to win. So like I feel that as a whole. So couple more things, and then we'll get out of here. Obviously, for those of y'all that are unaware, NBA All Star voting opened up today. So now is the time to be putting your favorite players on the ballot for All Star Weekend in Indianapolis, Indiana. Honestly, I might see if I can try to go. That'd be dope. Expensive as hell, but it might be dope. But we'll see how it plays out. Have you had a chance to vote yet? At all?
Not yet, but I will soon.
Okay. So what I want to do here, I literally just thought of this on the spot, and hopefully we can kind of make this work. I want to have like an off the backboard, like all-star ballot vote. We kind of go through and vote for who we think is going to be who we think should be in an all-star game. But I want to do it collectively, like between me and you. Um, just because I figure why not? It's fun. We got some time to do it right now, so I want to at least draw that up and see what we can do, and then we'll kind of put that vote in and see how it works out. So that sound good?
Sorry, I had myself muted, but
Good.
yes, yeah, that sounds good.
All right. So what I'm gonna do, like I said, we're going to, like I said, we're gonna have our official all-star vote right here on off the backboard on the show. So that should be a fun one. Like I said, it's gonna be a collaborative effort. It's not gonna be just me or just Deontay. So we want to make sure that we're able to have a chance to vote. So like I said, here's the ballot right here. So what we'll do is we'll just go by conference. We'll start in the West. Obviously we got a lot of these guards here set up. So obviously it's 2 guards and 3 front court players. I can't say like forwards because you got forwards and centers, but we got 2 guards and then we got the back court or front court. So obviously these are some of the names that you scroll through. You got a lot of heavy hitters out there. Jalen Green, James Harden, Kyrie, CJ McCollum, Jamal Murray, Anthony Edwards, stuff like that. But obviously, I look at this top row right here. You got Luka, you got Shea, De'Aaron Fox, Devin Booker, Steph Curry. That's obviously some of the guys that you look at right here. But just if you had to pick one of these guards at least off the top row, who do you think should be? Who would you voting right now? Just looking at the guys on the top row.
Honestly, it's a no-brainer. I'm going with Luka.
Luka?
Yeah, it's an automatic no-brainer for me.
All right, I would also agree on that one. So we will put down Luka, and then I'm looking at this the other guard spot. I'm gonna be real with you. I love Steph. He's been doing great things, but I feel like Shea is just on a tear right now. And like I said, OKC is playing like nobody's business, and they are looking like a team that's gonna make a run this year and then some. So I would sit here and vote for Shea as that second guard.
Yeah, that's a good pick too.
We got Shea? All right. So we will put Shea in, and that is going to be our 2 guards for the West. And now we can go ahead and look at the front court position if this wants to hurry up. Wait. The heck? What is this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't know what the heck just happened, but I guess it just
Oh.
mixed together the East and the West. Whatever. All right, screw it. I don't care. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we got our West guards in. We're good on that.
All right.
Let's just go ahead and just vote for guards in the East. I'm gonna go ahead and just go by that way.
All right. We can do that. Yeah.
East guards. I don't. Here's the thing about the guards in the East. Like, I don't necessarily know who is like jumping out to me as like one of those top tier guys in the Eastern Conference. Is like jumping out. That's a lot. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I got three guys I'm looking at right now as far as guards in the East: Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton. And I look at Jalen Brunson mainly because he got snubbed last year. I don't know what the heck the people were thinking. Tyrese Maxey has obviously been,
that was one selection that I was just upset about. Like, why would you not put Brunson up there?
Right. And then obviously Tyrese has been playing out of his mind as well. So I'm looking at least those three guys as, to me, starters. But obviously only two of them can get in. So out of those three, Maxey, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, who would you pick?
Honestly, for me, I think the evolution of Tyrese Maxey is an automatic for me. I mean, besides Embiid, Tyrese Maxey has really held on his own. I have predicted this since James Harden left, that he would be that type of guy that would kind of pick up the slack that James Harden left behind. So, and the fact that he's really grown into his own person in terms of these guards in the East, it really, I would have to go with him.
So I feel like we're both good on Halliburton. Like, obviously that's he deserves the props. So obviously Halliburton. So, well, sorry, you said Maxey, but I think we both go on Halliburton though. See, I want to vote Jalen in. I really, really do. I don't know if he would be the starter for me, but I feel like he would be good in terms of when I'm talking to the bench. I would say Tyrese Maxey. I would say the Tyrese is Maxey and Halliburton is what I would go with. But what do you think on that one then? Obviously, we said Maxey, but you think Halliburton too?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, this is already in the running for most improved player, so why not put him on there?
All right, so Maxey.
And I'm not just saying this because I have this man in fantasy basketball too. I'm just looking at it clearly from an All NBA perspective.
Oh no, definitely for sure. All right, so let's go to the front court players in the West. We'll go with the West.
Right,
let's go East because they're already up top. I feel like we already know these top two guys right here. Embiid and Giannis are kind of no-brainers. Like, that just makes the most sense, if I would imagine. But what do you think? Just looking at it in terms of like front court players, you look at Embiid, you look at Giannis, like two of the best in the league right now.
Giannis, obviously, those are automatic.
So obviously Giannis and Embiid, everybody's probably looking at it like this is easy to pick, but different people have different opinions, so we can't sit here and say like it's gonna be that certain though. So, and then that last front court spot, obviously, you're looking out East. Jason Tatum seems like he'd be a great fit for that spot. Honestly, let's scroll down a little bit. I feel like they're making this just too damn easy. Actually, no. Which one of these guys would you put in terms of the front court? Are you looking at more of not Julius Randle, but Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum? And I'll throw Julius Randle in there as well. Like, which of those two guys do you think would be a better fit in terms of an all-star for this year?
In terms of all-star for this year, in terms of like starting? You can put Tatum up there, and then you can put let's see, who do I trust more?
I was like, one of the two.
It's not a match, but Jesus Christ. You know what? I'm just gonna take the bias route and just put Jaylen.
Jaylen Brown over Tatum?
No, I thought you meant like Tatum and then somebody else.
No. Well, because we already got Giannis and Embiid, so it was like one more.
So it's one more, huh?
Yeah.
So all right. So the selections are either Tatum, Brown, and then Randall, maybe.
Yeah, so like one of those three guys in terms of like that last spot that you think
Mhm.
would be a good fit.
Yeah, I think I might have to go with Tatum on this one.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it is Tatum though. So, and the thing of it is, a lot of people realize this: if you vote as an All Star, like you vote for the All Star, like I mean, you vote, and nothing say you only got to vote once. So think about it that way. All right.
Hmm.
So now we're gonna go to the front court for the West, and I feel like this one's gonna be, I say interesting, but we'll see how it plays out. You look at guys like Kevin Durant, Jokic, LeBron, AD. You look at guys like Kawhi and PG. Hell, Brandon Ingram's having a relatively good year. Maybe Zion. I don't necessarily know, but Cat, he's all right. And then, okay, hold on. I just stop for a second.
All
You got
right.
emo Jimmy right here. So that's just, I just wanted to point that out for a second.
Yeah, they still have that haircut. I'm like, yeah, no.
But I feel like for me personally, you it should be Jokic.
Yes,
I feel like that's a no-brainer. He's arguably the best big man in the league next to Embiid. Um,
correct.
I feel like I can't count out Durant. Durant's just kind of that guy. I don't know about you, but I feel like Durant should be that other one of the other forwards in there.
Hmm. Let's see. What's he say? Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
And then this last one, it'll be like a testament to just these last few guys. You got LeBron James, you have Anthony Davis, you have Kawhi Leonard, and then I will throw PG in there as well, and
Hmm.
possibly Laurie, but Laurie might not even be in Utah for much longer. So, uh, the LA boys: LeBron, AD, Kawhi, PG. If you obviously that's one more spot left that we got. So,
Hmm. Honestly, just simply because I think the King deserves. I think the King deserves that spot. Just my arguable opinion.
the king himself. All right, the king of the NBA. It is though. Jr. said Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons. I'm like, bruh.
Who? Oh, Anthony Simon. What?
I'm so done.
I
Wait, he
thought you
said
were
no
talking
Lakers
about
or
that.
whoa, whoa,
I
whoa,
said
whoa,
no.
whoa, whoa,
No.
hold on. JR said no Lakers or Clippers. What? What?
Oh, no Lakers equipment and what? That's crazy.
Yo, he said the bonus. I'm like, yo, hey, hold on, Jared. You gotta explain yourself. You said the bonus?
Wait. Oh, I mean, I'm not
Ah,
discrediting Sabonis or anything.
ah. Let's say Iggy jumping in. What's up, man? We're pretty much doing like a live NBA All-Star voting ballot, so that's what we're kind of going through right now. We're trying to figure out who we want this last spot to be. I can't put the bonus in over LeBron and AD and PG and Kawhi. Like, I think we're gonna go with LeBron. We're gonna go with LeBron.
Yeah, we're gonna go with LeBron for now.
And like I said, we will have an opportunity to you know, vote again at some point. Like I said, I don't think we're gonna do this every week, but I just wanted to do it just because I figured we both on the night. So I'm like, let's just go ahead and get an all-star ballot going. Let's kind of see what we got. So looking at it right here. Here it is. So we got Luca and Shea as the guards in the West, and then you got Jokic, LeBron, and KD as the front court. All right. And then East, you got Tyrese Maxey and Tyrese Halliburton, and then Giannis, Embiid, Tatum. Like,
All
that
right.
is a hell of an all-star squad just as far
Yeah,
as
it is.
starters goes. Now, obviously, we don't know what's the first few set of numbers are going to look like in terms of the all-star ballot, what the voting's going to look like in the meantime. But we'll put it in, we'll submit it. On it. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen just for a second, just because I don't. Not everybody needs to be seeing my login stuff. So.
Yeah, so,
But like I said, we'll put that in, and we are all set. That's going to be our all-star ballot, for right now for
oh, I
off
can't wait.
backboard.
It's
And
looking
then we got one more thing to talk about, and then we should be done for the night. And that is the Christmas Day games.
Oh yes.
We got a whole slate of Christmas Day
Mhm.
games ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. We'll do some predictions right here real quick and kind of see how we feel. obviously, if one of those games is going to be, we're going to have differing opinions. But so looking at it, we'll go through the whole slate of games.
Right.
Obviously, starting off the day, we have the Bucks and the Knicks playing. They start off Christmas
Mm.
Day, 11 a.m. I think that's Central Time. So Bucks and Knicks. Who you taking in that game?
Honestly, this is kind of tough because Jesus Christ, the last time I talked about the Knicks, they literally put the boot on the Lakers unveiling ceremony. So, but I mean, I'm not discrediting the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks are a relatively scrappy team, right? But the Bucks are just. I mean, as long as the Bucks have Giannis, then I feel like they're just gonna wipe the floor with these boys. But I mean, you never know. But I hope I could be wrong in this prediction. But I really got the Bucks.
Yeah, I kind of feel you on that one as well. I feel like Giannis is going to be too much for that Knicks team. I know Julius Randle's been playing relatively well, and the Knicks are starting to pick things up, but I feel like it's just going to be too much for the Knicks to overcome. Give me the Bucks in this one. I feel like that one's relatively easy. So, the next game we got, it'll be at 1:30 Warriors Nuggets. I feel like with the way the Warriors are playing right now, unless they show me something unless they show me something tonight against the Celtics, I don't think I'm going to give them much shot of beating the Nuggets on Christmas Day. So I'm going to take Denver on that one. So
Yeah, give me Denver on that one too.
yeah. Next game up is going to be. This is obviously where we're going to split. I feel like you're going to have a lot of people watching this game. Lakers Celtics, obviously the oldest rivalry in the NBA, the best rivalry in the NBA. 4:00 Central Time. I feel like we already know who we're going to vote for, so I feel like we just should give a reason as to why we think they're going to win. So,
Right. So
you can talk about the Celtics real quick.
honestly, I feel like this Celtics team can do enough to beat these Lakers come Christmas Day. I feel like the final score prediction of this game would be I'm gonna be generous and say 130 to 125. I feel like it's gonna be one of those tightly competitive games all around. I don't expect this game to be a blowout from the Celtics end, but this is the NBA and anything can happen. So shoot, I have the Celtics winning by 5.
You said 130, 125. Okay. All right. Obviously, I'm gonna go with the Lakers on this one. I feel like LeBron is what everybody looks at him, and it's just amazing to look at what he's doing in year 21 in the league at age 38. He's gonna be turning 39 at the end of this month. So shout out to LeBron having a December birthday. So that is what it is. I feel like with the way that AD showed up in the in-season tournament and stuff like that, I feel like that's the AD that we should see going forward. I feel like that's the AD we're going to see going forward. All of this is dependent on how these bigs are going to show up. I look at a guy like AD. I look at a guy like Jackson Hayes coming off the bench. Hopefully they can hopefully he can provide a spark in some of these other guys. Hopefully Vando is going to be able to shut down either Brown or Tatum, and we can kind of limit that offense. But also, I need for Torian Prince to make his damn threes. If you watch the Lakers game last night, obviously he was 3 for 13. That was all the shots he took was threes. And JR knows. We were talking in the NBA group chat. SoCal, all of us, horrid shooting performance. So I need him to get his act together, and we need to make sure we're knocking down our threes. So if they can do that, I think we got a good shot. So. Then we'll go through the last couple of games. 76ers Heat. I feel like this might be a little bit closer than a lot of people want to anticipate, but I feel like it's still going to be Philly, and I feel like it's going to be Philly running away. So. And then we will go with the last one is the Mavericks Suns that'll close out the NBA slate of games. I'm going to go with Dallas on this one. And I say that because I know Bradley Beal's going to be out for at least the next 3 weeks. And I think this big three has played like all of less than 10 games together. Because it's like musical chairs. Every time we think somebody's going to be playing, another guy's out. And it just never fails. So I'm going to pick the lethal backcourt that is Luka and Kyrie and the rest of that Dallas Mavericks squad. And I feel like they're going to be coming out ready to go. Obviously, the game is in Phoenix, but I think Dallas is going to come out ready to go for that one.
All right. You know what? Yeah, give me the Mavericks too. I mean, yeah, I mean, losing Bradley Beal was extremely difficult, right? But they're only losing him for like a couple of weeks, like you said, right? But I feel like, but it's just that Luca is just supersonic, and he's able to turn it on every single game. I mean, look at what he's done in this past season. Like, look at what he's done in the last 4 games. Like, this dude is pretty much averaging a triple double in the last 4 games, right? And he's just basically doing it all by himself, right? So I don't know how the Suns defense is gonna have a game plan for Lucas. So until further notice, I got the Mavs.
All right. And then Coach Greg's talking about just big threes only. I think he's pretty sure they played 2 games together, which hell, even if it's just 2, that's still just as bad. But everybody was looking at them as front runners to win the West, and you can't necessarily be a front runner if your whole team isn't there. And like I said, it's like musical chairs. One guy comes in, when another guy's out, so it's only 2 of the 3 that's playing. So you just kind of have to figure that out. And hopefully hopefully we'll see them, as a whole at some point. But it is what it is, though. Yeah. So that's pretty much gonna be it for tonight. We want to appreciate you guys for coming out tonight. Obviously, if you guys are tuned in for some more TSA content, you want to say bye. And we got the Game Changers next with Wendy and Carla Zen. So you want to check them out. Wonderful in the fantasy football community. They do a lot of great things. So if y'all want to check out their show next after us, is going to be at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central Time. So check them out. They have Jim Coventry as an interview today. So be sure to check that out. As always, have a fun time as well. Oh, also, thank you, Iggy. I looked in the comments and saw that we are doing a fantasy basketball league, and we got some open slots. I think the draft is coming up here in the next few days. So if anybody's interested in joining a fantasy basketball league from here on out for the rest of the season, be sure to talk to one of us. You can talk to myself, Deontay. Hit us up at the sports affiliation. We can get you all the information that you need and get that set up for you. It's going to be a fun time. Like I said, just fantasy basketball, which I hadn't really done before. Obviously, I've been a big fantasy football fan. Fantasy basketball is a little bit different for me, but it should be a fun time. So it's going to be a bunch of us from TSA, and it's going to be some fun stuff. Also, again, appreciate y'all for keeping me in check in the comments. JR is doing some pick'ems throughout the season. Pretty much it's just a straight up, pick who's going to win the games. He normally has a link that he puts out every day. So if y'all haven't had a chance to check those out, check out his Twitter page as well. I think it's. Let me look it up because I don't want to get it wrong, bro. Because I was about to say it and I was like, nah, I ain't even finna do you like that. All right, 4F Apollo. That is his Twitter handle at 4F Apollo. You can check him out there. Like I said, he's been doing it for the last couple of nights as far as pick'ems and stuff like that. So if you get him right, shout out stuff like that. And just kind of getting people into the basketball community as well. Kind of get a little bit of fun stuff like that. And obviously check out all the other stuff that we got on the sports affiliation in terms of content. We got shows throughout the week, Monday through Friday. Coach Craig does his stuff, where he goes back to school with a lot of these the college guys in the NFL, and he has stuff in terms of like basketball sit-ups and things like that. So check him out. Iggy has his fantasy betting shows as well, and Monday night game shows and stuff like that. I think I'm debating on whether or not we will do a show next week because I know it's Christmas on Monday, and then Tuesday will be the show, but we'll figure that out. But like I said, we'll let you guys know otherwise. Sharp said, let me join. Hey, like I said, hit up the sports affiliation on Twitter. Like I said, they can get you the information. Like I said, you want to join the league, let them know. And like I said, that's pretty much it. Like I said, we got the Game Changers coming up next. Like I said, if y'all want to tune in to that, stay tuned. And we will see y'all when we see y'all. If we don't see y'all next week, I don't want to be corny when I say this. We'll see y'all next year. I had to do it. I'm sorry. I didn't want to do it. But we will see you guys next year.
I know.
If we don't see y'all next week. But that's just kind of how it is. So, and like I said, if you guys are interested in joining the show, be sure to hit us up. Like I said, we're always willing to have guests on and talk basketball. We have our wonderful sports affiliation crew, but we want to be able to get more people in talking basketball, getting different thoughts and stuff from other people from different fandoms and things like that. So if y'all know anybody that's interested that wants to talk basketball with us, let us know. We'll be happy to have them on the show. But in the meantime, Merry Christmas. If we don't see y'all between now and 2024, Happy New Year. And it's gonna be a fun next year as well. We got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. I think at some point I want to try to do something in terms of like a giveaway, but we'll figure that out, down the road. But otherwise, like I said, we'll see y'all. Deontay, you got anything you want to say before we head out though?
No, sir. I know that the Big Blue Rain is gonna be in short little production very soon. So I got some new stuff for the show about come next week or maybe the week after that. I'm just gonna basically recap, pretty much the back half of the December games thus far for the New York G-Men. So please be sure to stay tuned for that. And that's pretty much it.
All right. Like I said, join in when y'all need to. Like I said, let us know what's going on. We got like fantasy basketball. JR's got his pick'ems that he does throughout the week. Coach Craig and stuff has his content that he puts out in terms of like basketball stars. Sit-ems, check that out. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. If we don't see y'all next week, but until then, peace out. Tell your friends about us. So we'll see y'all later.
Take care.